Jesse's a little on edge right now because he's had 0 coffee.
I want my coffee. Somebody's gonna get a rebet.
Good morning.
Breakfast of champions.
This is the Earth Cafe. If you're unfamiliar, best place to eat at the Wynn. Not a lot of people still know about this place. Kind of tucked away over here, but they got pretty good, healthy food. I have like some sort of veggie breakfast burrito. We have a salad over here. Playing the Wynn 1600 today. Really pumped about this one. $1 million guarantee in the prize pool. I'm feeling good. We've had a great morning. We're taking it slow today. We're gonna be a couple levels late, but I feel like it's better to be prepared and feel ready to take on the rest of the night than sort of, you get the idea. We're gonna go play some poker now. First impressions of my table are that some people are super relaxed, having fun with this, and then the other half of the table is taking things very seriously. So we have a kind of split table. And in this hand, I open pocket sixes under the gun to 1,000 at 400 big blind. The hijack is one of those serious guys, makes the call. Small blind, even more serious. No, I'm just kidding. They're about the same. He 3-bets to 4,000. Big blind gets out of there, back to me, and with a pair this deep, I'm gonna make the call. Hijack comes along as well, so 3 of us see the Jack 5-3 rainbow flop. Small blind now checks. That was a 3-better. It's on me. I'm gonna check as well, and the hijack player throws out a super tiny micro bet of 2,000 into 13K. So very tiny, and I was surprised to see small blind fold. When it's on me, I'm still not gonna let go of this pair, not to that tiny bet, so I make the call. Goes check on the ace of hearts turn, and now on the river, the dealer puts out another 5. It's the 5 of diamonds, it pairs the board. So this is the interesting decision point for me because, yeah, I have a pair, we have showdown value, and that's what I was thinking in the moment, but looking back on this hand, I think that I might have to turn this hand into a bluff. It's one of the worst hands I'm gonna get to by the river. I feel like he has something like 7s through 9s, maybe a weak jack that he was going for some value on the flop with. So I think I could get those hands to fold with a big bet. And I just didn't in the moment. It was only 10 minutes into the day. I don't think I was as sharp as I could be, and I just checked it over to him. He bets 6,000 into 17, so another tiny bet, and I think that's pretty consistent with those hands, like 7s through 9s. If he did have something like king queen, I think he would have barreled that on the turn. Not sure if he has something like that by this river. Once I decide to check, I think this is a kind of a trivial fold, but in the future, I want to be pulling the trigger at all of these spots. Like, this is where I need the most work on in my game. There's now over 25,000 of you following this vlog now, and I'm viewing you guys as my accountability buddies. I hear myself saying this in voiceovers all the time that I wish I pulled the trigger and I didn't in the moment. So going forward, call me out, please. Call me out in the comments like, hey, you did that thing where you wanted to bluff and you didn't, because this is my biggest leak. I think it's very consistent across a lot of live games. And I say live because online, I feel a lot more comfortable pulling the trigger. I don't know. Maybe it's just something about being in person that freaks me out a little bit. So this is definitely something I am working on, and I would love you guys' help with it. All that being said, on to the next hand. All right, about an hour goes by and I pick up pocket 7s, another pair on the button. I make it 1,200 to go. The small blind and big blind both come along. Small blind has been really fun, but he also has all the chips. Makes it easier to have fun in poker, that's for sure. Big blind is very serious European reg. The flop is king 6-4 rainbow. They check it to me. I bet a third of the pot here. Small blind folds, and the big blind, who started this hand with around 35 bigs, check raises me. He makes it 4,200, so slightly more than 3 times my c-bet. So what bluffs does he have when he does this? I mean, he's got a lot. He's, like I said, a good European reg. He probably has stuff like open-ended straight draws, gutters. He could even be raising worse for value, like ace-6, for example. So 7s is clearly good enough to continue. One thing to note, though, is that having 2 7s in my hand really blocks a lot of his bluffs. So even though I think it's technically good enough to continue, I'm going to be cautious moving forward, because if it was check raising a hand like 8-7 or 7-5, those types of straight draws, I now kind of block those hands, which is not great when you're trying to bluff catch. I make the call, and on the turn, the dealer puts out the ace of diamonds. The opponent continues his story. He goes all in for almost a pot-sized jam, 11-6 into 12-5. Nothing I could do, I don't think, so I just lay it down. And I was really excited about this tournament, so I hope things start to turn around. I mean, just look at how pitiful my stack is at this next hand. In this one, the under the gun 2 player raises to 1200, cutoff and small blind call, and I'm in the big with Jack 3 of spades, so why not? Let's flick it in. We go 4 ways to Jack 6-4 rainbow. So we flop top pair, looking good, starting off good. Checks all the way around on this flop, and the dealer puts out the 4 of diamonds on the turn. So pairs the board. The small blind lead's kind of tiny. He goes a less than a third of the pot with a 1600 chip bet into 5400. I'm obviously going to make the call, very easy, and the other 2 guys get out of there. So heads up to the river, which is a 9 of clubs. Still think we're good in this spot. He only bets 2400 on this river now, so clearly good enough to call, but not good enough to raise, so that's what I do. And we win against ace 6 of spades, so very happy we didn't get any spades out there. Instead, we got top pair, chipping up slightly with that one. Same guy opens under the gun to 1200. I have ace 5 of diamonds under the gun 1 off of more than 30 blinds, so I make the call. Hijack and big blind come in as well, so 4 ways we see the 7-7-5 rainbow flop, but there is a diamond, that cheeky little diamond for some backdoor hope. Big blind checks, under the gun checks to me, and with a vulnerable pair, I'm gonna bet into this 4-way pot, so I make it 2k to go. Hijack calls, big blind's out of there, and under the gun actually calls as well. So interesting. 3 ways to the turn, which is the 10 of diamonds. So turning some backdoor flush draw equity. Under the gun checks. I'm going to slow down with a check. I can easily call if somebody bets, so don't want to bloat this pot too much against better pairs. So I check, hijack checks, and all of us see the king of clubs on the river. Gonna just try to take this to showdown now. When under the gun checks, I decide to do the same, and hijack throws out a large 8,000 chip bet into 11-7. Under the gun folds. I'm not feeling great about this one. I think that while it is kind of unlikely that he has a king to be going this large with, it's definitely possible. And in these tournaments, I've just been leaning towards when people decide to go quite large, especially multi-way, just gonna give them credit for having something, and I make the fold and on to the next one. This is the small little nub that I take to dinner break. When I get back, I shove king queen, get called by ace 9. We do not suck out, and it's on to day 1B. Very first hand that I sit down in this tournament, I open pocket queens under the gun, 400 big blind, open it to 1,000. The under the gun 1 player, Snap makes it 3,200. We are 80 big blinds effective, so I just make the call. The flop is 10-9-5 rainbow. I check it to him and he bets 2,600. So pretty standard, I'm just gonna call. The turn is the offsuit 6. Check it over to him again and he pretty quickly checks back. So we're feeling really good about our hand. The river is offsuit 7. So it creates a 4-liner, 4 to a straight on the board, but I'm gonna be the one that has more 8s because I would raise pocket 8s and call a 3-bet, whereas there's not a lot of 8s in his 3-betting range pre-flop. So I lead small as a sort of blocker bet. I doubt I'll get raised, so I just kind of want to set my own price, get value from maybe a 10 or pocket jacks, and not really get blown off my hand. So I bet 4,000, which is a third of the pot. He quickly makes the call. They're up against aces. So somehow we managed not to lose our stack, queens to aces first hand, so that was great. All right, then the low jack player opens. He's kind of like an older gentleman off of a 30 big blind stack. I have king jack of clubs in the cutoff. I make the call. Button makes the call as well. And that's the same guy who just had aces against me. So 3 ways. We go to a jack 7-4 with 1 club. It's a rainbow flop. The PFR C bets for 2,600. Both of us make the call. So all 3 of us go into a turn now, which is queen of diamonds, bringing a backdoor flush draw. Checks around. So we're feeling good. The river is an offsuit 4. And the PFR checks again. I wasn't sure if I should go thin or not, but I decided to check. Button checks back. Low jack shows 9-7 of hearts, so he c-bet into 2 other people with middle pair. When I flip my hand over, the other guy mucks, so we win a little bit back, inching our way back up to starting. All right, last one before I jump in there again. This time, under the gun opens. He's a very active player. Under the gun opens to 1,100 at 500 big blind. The blind's gone up. The hijack player calls. I'm on the button with 2 red king. So we got the Cowboys. I'm obviously going to 3-bet, so I make it 3,600. Both opponents call. And the flop is king, queen, 10, 2 spades, and a club. Flop, top set. It is vulnerable though, so when they check it over to me, I bet 4,000. The under the gun player just snap goes all in, and I think he had 17K total to start this street. So he goes all in, music to my ears, and then hijack player starts going into the tank, and then he makes the calls. He actually goes all in over the top. He has us covered just by a little bit. I got top set of kings. Good luck us. I stick it all in the middle, and I'll let you see what they have.
Oh, what?
Wow. And how much does he have? You have me covered?
I think he got to
Yep.
go.
Oh, man.
What the
Good luck, you
heck?
guys. Yeah, that was crazy. Before I jump back in, I had to rebuy. This is bullet number 3 for this tournament. So lame. Everybody's still back in there, but there's a huge line at the alternate booth. So kind of just waiting my turn. Thought I would give you guys a little bit of an update about what's going on in this tournament. Hopefully we can run better in this third bullet. On a little bit of a break right now. Yeah. We're both at the same table. Can I tell you how I spun it up?
Yeah.
I gotta tell everybody else too. I open 5s in the hijack, both blinds call, and the flop is queen 5-4 rainbow. So I bet 2,200 into 60 something, and small blind folds, big blind calls. The turn is a 7, bringing a flush draw. Guy checks it to me. I bet 5,500, and he just jams all in for 20,800 total. Obviously snap call. He has queen 7 of diamonds, and we hold. He flop top pair and he turned 2 pair.
Oh, wow.
This is my coach.
She wasn't in very good shape. We're not there.
I open king queen offsuit. Carlos is in the big blind. Carlos is really good. Side note, he plays high rollers and he studies a lot, like spreadsheets, like very theoretically sound. He's in the big blind, not going to be opening too crazy into him. Anyway, he peels. The flop is queen jack 5 rainbow. I see bet a third, he calls. The turn is a 9, bringing a spade draw. So he check call flop, turn is a 9, what do you do?
I just bet turn.
Me too, that's what I did. I bet 2/3.
Okay, cool.
He calls. The river is another 9.
Ooh, that's a card.
Yeah, queen jack 5 rainbow, turn is a 9 of spades, river is another 9. He's big blind, he has less than pot behind.
Less than pot?
Yeah. I
This is
know, that's what I thought.
I kind of feel like we just shoved.
That's what I did.
Oh, good.
I was proud of myself because I was like, I almost like.
I would need to look at, obviously, like, he has some, like, 9-10 type stuff, king 9, but, like.
We rambled on a little bit more about that one, but basically, Carlos folded, Jesse was happy with my shove, and we move on to the next one. Coming into the last few levels of the night, I have over 100K. It's a little less than average, but it is definitely a solid enough stack to make the money and hopefully bag for day 2. All right, so me and Jesse didn't get into any interesting pots. Just I pick up ace king offsuit in the big blind. Small blind has 13 bigs. He limps. I rip him all in with ace king offsuit from the big blind. Calls with ace jack suited. Jack 6. Oh, it was a long day today. So after that, obviously I'm really short, and then I jam my last 8 bigs or so with 8-7 suited, get called by pocket 10s. We do not win that one. So currently I am out. There's 143 players left. 105 make the money. So it was kind of brutal, especially because that ace king, if I had won that, I would have had like 170K, you know, super close to the money. And right now the average chips are 200, and that was about an hour ago. So I would have been with a really healthy stack and a really good spot. Oh, I gotta say that one was really frustrating. Ran pretty well today, and I think that I got dealt a lot of good hands too, and they were holding up or they were hitting boards. So when those types of days happen, you really hope that it all comes together so that by the end of the day, you've accumulated like a huge stack. But not the case today. Busted out just shy of the money. They're gonna make it. I'm hanging around, wait till Jesse busts, take him home. Look at them all there. All those lucky people still with chips. Anyway, that's all for me. Good luck at the tables, you guys. I'll keep you updated if Jesse runs deep, give you a little update on how he's doing. But other than that, another one bites the dust for me. On to the next one tomorrow. Good luck at the tables, you guys. See ya. Bye.